Hello. Welcome back to my channel, people. If you're new here, very welcome. If you're returning, I have much love for you. Thank you. So, this is what I did today, folks. Tomato sauce. Right, this is not just any tomato sauce, okay? It's better. I was gonna say it's M&S tomato sauce, but it isn't. This is tomato sauce that I make and I keep it in my fridge and I use it to cook various things, which I will tell you about after the video. So it's a good, quick lifesaver. So if you would be interested in learning about this, then do continue watching. I will see you on the other side, folks. So these are the ingredients. We'll start by talking about the tomatoes. So we have got here 2.5 kilograms of tomatoes. We've got here 600 grams each of onions and red pepper. We have got here 4 Scotch bonnet peppers just for a little bit of heat. We've got garlic, which is about a head of garlic. I'm using frozen, but you can use fresh. I usually prefer fresh, but I run out, so I'm using frozen. That's about 15 cloves there. And I've got here my seasoning, which is black pepper, thyme, bay leaf. And then I've got here also 6 lemons, which we will be juicing later. Okay, folks, so this is what 2.5 kilograms of tomatoes, onions and red pepper chopped up looks like. So I'm going to use my blender to blitz it. I've got some water here. I don't want to use too much water because the objective of this is to get most of the water out, but we need to look after our blades. So, right, let's get started. So I'm going to put something in here like this. I've just mixed everything together, so I've got bits of garlic, onion, red pepper. It will all go in. And I'm just going to quickly whisk through that. So, doesn't like too much, so we're going to have to do it several times. Put some water in there. Take the blade. There you go. Just turn it there, like that. Okay, so that one's done. This is what it looks like. It's a bit light, but eventually everything will be rather orange. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that right into this pot. So I do use a stock pot here, which is one of these long ones, and then we'll just start the process all over again. Right, so there you go. Okay, so now we've finished blending, and as you can see, the pot is nearly full. So now we're going to transfer to the stove. Okay, so now we've transferred it to the stove. We're going to put it on a high heat until it starts to boil. Just going to stir that, as you can see, make it all go out uniform. will show you when I'm going to add the lemon juice, which will be probably in about another 40 minutes. Okay, so there you go. Our sauce is reducing a bit more, it's foaming less, spitting more. Okay folks, it's been like an hour I think since I revisited last, and it has reduced quite a lot. It's foaming less, spitting more, and so I'm just going to stir that. Make sure you get right to the bottom. Okay, and then I've got here the juice of the 6 lemons that we had, yes. So I'm just going to go in with that. And basically, you don't have to worry about your tomato sauce tasting like lemons, because by the time it's all cooked down, it's going to that flavour is going to evaporate. It's the acid in the lemon that's going to act like a preservative. So there you go. Now, if you wanted to make a sauce with this here right now, that is actually done. But I want more of the water to come out, so it will be really thick. And then when I want to use it, you will rehydrate it. That's what happens. That's what makes it last a long time. So there you have it. So that lemon juice is all incorporated. I'm going to leave it on the cooker now for as long as it takes. So I'm going to put it on the back burner, which is slightly smaller. Move that over there. And we'll just leave that going. Yep, uncovered still. Alright. Okay folks, so look at this. Look at this. This is how it is now. It's done, really and truly. It's probably taken quite a long time. But the beauty of this is that I have to go out, so I switched it off. I went and did my errands, and I came back and I switched it back on again. So there you go, look at this. You can see how thick that is. And you can see that it has darkened compared to when we had it in the blender, you see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have to wait for this to cool down completely before I transfer it into jars. Right, okay, so it's been several hours and our tomato sauce has cooled down. I've got in here 3 jars which have been sterilised. I did that in boiling water. So I'm going to put the tomato sauce into the jars, okay? So my biggest tip is to use a spoon that goes inside, and that's still a bit hot. So it just means there's less mess, okay? So I'm going to do that off camera actually, to be sincere, but I just wanted to sort of show you the little setup that I have going. And yeah, and then I'll tell you what we could do, and I've got a bonus recipe. I'll show you something that I generally use it for all the time. Hi, okay, so this is the tomato sauce all bottled up, okay? As I remember, I said to you to try and keep the air pockets out, to use something that's got that locks as well, and then you can lock it back. So when you use it, you have to make sure that you clean the edges before you put it back, which might seem like a little bit of palaver, but remember, this is homemade, okay? It doesn't have all the industrial grade preservatives and E numbers in it that keeps your store-bought tomato sauce really good. Okay, so that being said, I just wanted to share with you a couple of ways in which you could use it. Okay, there's several ways. Okay, actually, before I go into that, I want to talk about the benefits of making your sauce like this. So if you're on a health journey, or even if you're not on a health journey, if you're a busy woman or a busy man or with a family or whatever, it's something that is really useful to have in your fridge. So for example, if you've come in and you've not been able to prepare your meal, you just take a few spoonfuls of this with water, open your tin of mackerel or your corned beef, or if you've got boiled meats or whatever you keep in your stock cupboard, whip it up. By the time it's heated through, it's done, okay? Because all of the hard work is done up front. That's number one. Number two, you know what's in it, okay? It's very healthy. There's no oil or there's no added sugar or anything like that. That being said, when you open it and it's getting down there, you might want to put a couple of tablespoons of oil on there. That will just sort of stop it from drying out. So yeah, so that is one reason why it's really useful to have in terms of the quickness of being able to prepare a meal. if you're on a diet or on a healthy journey, you know that one of the quickest ways to fall off that plan is when you're not prepared. And if you don't like plain food, like my food at the beginning of my journey, I've always said it time and time again, was very plain. So it was very difficult to fall off, because basically I could just open a tin of mackerel, and if I've got sweet potato at hand, boom, that was my meal. But you know, we don't live like that. We don't want to eat food that is bland like that all the time. So if you've got something like this in your store cupboard, it's something to fall on. So that's number 2. And then how to use it. So I've used this in making jollof rice. I've used it to make stew. I've used it to make spag bol. Basically anything that calls for tomato sauce or tomato puree, I would use this for. So yeah, that's it really. I did actually make jollof rice today, so I will be posting a video of that, and I did use this sauce, so you will see it there. And well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you will find the tips useful. I do have other things that I cook in this method to have at hand, so if that's something that you would be interested in, do let me know in the comments, and I will share that with you too. And on that note, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Okay, this is one way in which we use the tomato sauce we've just made. Pot on the fire. Then we go in with about 50 mils of water. Much as you like really, but I usually use about that much. It's always in this size pot. And I go in, I've got here, as you can see, this is the tomato sauce, but it looks like outside. So I just go in with all of that, so it's like, as you can see, just one of those. It's quite concentrated, folks, so you just don't need too much. So you put that all in, stir it all up. Right, so you let it go to the boil. And while that's boiling, I will tell you about the rest of the ingredients. So let's cover that. So that's gonna make a sauce, okay? So I've got some seasoning here. In here I have got crayfish, 1 teaspoon, parsley, 1 teaspoon, black pepper, 1 teaspoon, and I'm just gonna dump that all in there now. Okay, give that a stir around. This is really, really quick. This is the why we do it, okay? Because as you know, the tomato sauce is already cooked. Don't need anything. Sometimes if I want to be a bit fancy, I might go in with some oil and some spring onions to begin with. But it's night time, folks, and I forgot to do something, hence why I'm doing it this way. So just get all the rest of that in there. Then what I have here is some tinned mackerel. Okay, so the mackerel was in brine. So when that boils up, I'm just going to go in there with that and bring it back to the boil, and voila, it's done. I'll taste it, see whether I need any more chili in it. And then that will be served with rice. We're having rice this week, which is already cooked over there. But sometimes I would serve it with sweet potato, or with yam, or pasta. It goes with anything. It goes with anything. Okay folks, this has come to the boil. Look at it, I think it's a bit thick for my liking. So I'm going to add some more water. There you go, and then I'm just going to go in with the fish. Whoops. So just break that up a bit, not all together, just into bits. And I'm really just going to wait for that to come back to the boil. So I'm going to turn the heat down, let it simmer, and then I'll turn it up to the boil and it will be done. So let's use this one here, put that on. Okay folks, there you go. This has been simmering for a while. I'm going to turn it up now. It's all up to a boil. Okay, that's done. So fire off, and there you go folks, that's what it looks like. So simple, straightforward, very quick.